like a very unkept appearance. And he was just like grinning at me while he went along and vanished near the end of the building. Then I also had just directly after that, I dropped my camera over that chain link and I went to go pick it up and there was a scratch that came up on my arm and the camera battery just died. I believe little things like this happen here again. We found a random newspaper clipping of Trans-Allegheny, my grandmother and I did, in Craigsville the day after, just on the ground, and it was really bizarre.
Welcome to Creepalachia. We are getting so spooky today. It's not even funny. It's actually scary. And I couldn't be more excited than to have Copperhead and Adra in the studio today. And this is after our episode has officially released on the first of us visiting Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. So thank you all.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll give minimal backstory. There's an episode with Copperhead and there's an episode with Adra too. But, you know, for those who may not have listened to those, let's go ahead and introduce you. We'll start from left to right. Go ahead, Copperhead. Who are you, sir?
I am Copperhead. I'm a guide at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Heck yeah. And you are, what was it, 9 years?
I've been there
10 years?
Well, I was there 8.5, left for about 7. And then was invited back about 2 years ago last month.
Yep.
So 10.5 years total.
Sweet. And I'll probably ask you again. We'll run through the gauntlet of Trans-Allegheny stories because you're the man to tell them. But you were there on our overnight. And we had a very, I guess you call it successful?
Yeah.
Yeah, successful and very interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. And y'all, I'm sure know Adra from the Haunted and Urbex shows,
Yes.
but also Adra is doing stories for us regularly now.
Yes.
So welcome, Adra Johnson.
Thank you very much.
What's your daily life like now?
Well, we're coming up on October, so a lot of ghosts still. So I am, nobody's seen me, historian and paranormal investigator. So super busy time of year. Also working at Blennerhassett Island State Park until they close end of October. But yeah, it's getting really spooky around now.
Lord, yeah, it's spooky all year for me, but it's there's something different about October that just feels right.
Just permeate.
Yeah, it's like, oh, oozing to my pores.
Yes, it's in the air.
Not the devil, but you know.
The veil is thin.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I texted Adra the other night and she's like, I'll reply in 3 hours. I got a paranormal tour coming up. So you do those in the evening?
Haunted Parkersburg, which was started by Susan Shepard, who I've talked about before. She died in 2021. So I've taken over for her. Her daughter still runs the Haunted Parkersburg company. We're coming up on 30 years of those tours.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a 2-hour walking tour downtown Parkersburg. There's private tours year round that you can book if you're, you know, in West Virginia in May and feeling spooky. But September, October, we're solidly out there every weekend. So yes, it's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. And to set this up, so we're going to walk through the episode kind of. It's not going to be exactly like a reaction video, but I thought it'd be fun to show y'all the episode for the first time. And then we walk through. Yeah, we walk through the evening. Let's go ahead and set up what Trans-Allegheny is for the, you know, less than 1% out there that are watching this video that don't know Copperhead. What is this place?
It was actually, it's the second largest hand-cut stone building in the world, next to the Kremlin in Moscow. There's 242,000 square feet. It was built for 250 patients in the 50s and 60s. There were about 2,500 patients. And there's 4 stories. It's just a little under a quarter of a mile long from one end of the building to the other. And when you drive up and look up at it, it's very overwhelming.
You just go in, you roll up in Weston and it's like, whoa, that's crazy. I mean, it's there's a whole vibe as soon as you're right there. I can only imagine, you know, being enrolled in that institution. It's like, well, this is my home now.
Yep.
You know,
yep. And you never knew. I mean, you never knew how long you were going to be there either. You know, some people come in, they weren't there very long. Some people come in and they passed away there.
Yeah, we were looking at the list, Adra, of reasons for why you were
Yes.
admitted, and it's pretty much any reason you can think of.
Right.
I was
And
looking
then
for
some.
diabetes on there. I didn't see it.
You probably could have written it in at the bottom and nobody would have thought anything.
Oh yeah. Well, they probably thought it was something else when it first opened.
Right. Yeah.
People were just falling over dead and were like, I wonder what's going on.
Diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes.
Well, there's like dog bite,
Right.
woman troubles,
Hysteria.
yeah, dementia,
Dementia and hysteria.
kicked in the head by horse,
Yeah, that was one.
the war. You know, you name it, it's there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, and people used to just be like, my wife's crazy. Take her, please.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Literally.
men could
You could
bring
do
the
that.
wife and drop them off.
Yeah.
And there is a story of a man bringing his wife and his mistress. And of course, the wife is furious. And he went in and told the doctor, I don't know what her problem is. They grew up together. They're best friends. And of course,
Aw.
the wife's throwing a fit and proving him right.
Uh-huh.
He left her there and left with the mistress.
That's crazy.
Sly dude.
And my wife told me not to get any ideas.
Yeah, that's awful. And Adra, you saw your first apparition there?
I did. So I've been into this stuff since way young, and I begged and begged my grandma to just take me to Trans-Allegheny. It was like the pinnacle of haunted locations growing up. And so on my 15th birthday, she finally relented, and it was midday. It was shut that day. And there was like a chain link in the front where you go into the, dead center of it. And I saw this guy, it looked like riding a lawnmower, but he was dressed in like hospital clothes, and he had a very unkept appearance. And he was just like grinning at me while he went along and vanished near the end of the building. Then I also had just directly after that, I dropped my camera over that chain link, and I went to go pick it up, and there was a scratch that came up on my arm, and the camera battery just died. So that was really weird to me. And we came across, I believe little things like this happen here again in the paranormal sphere,
Mhm.
We found a random newspaper clipping of Trans-Allegheny, my grandmother and I did, in Craigsville the day after, just on the ground. And it was really bizarre. So that was a turning point for me, because to actually physically see something like that after 15 years of knowing it exists, it was exciting to get in there and investigate. It didn't disappoint, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Scared the piss out of me. But in a good way. It was like, which I made the episode, but which we'll start playing it here in a second. But I want to ask y'all, let's start with you, Adra.
Yes.
So what do you love? What do you love about this? Is it the feeling you get on what may be on the other side, or is it, an overall intrigue? What do you think it is?
There's definitely a very personal interest and selfish aspect to pursuing it. And yes, just the unknown, mysterious, feeling that connection, the idea of being able to communicate with people that are so far out of your actual lifetime is very exciting to me. And being able to bring their stories to light and go into these haunted locations. From a business standpoint, the fact that the paranormal industry has helped so many historic buildings that are important to keep around, not just for us, but future generations as well. So it's a little of both. I think it's good for the location, and it's been good to me so far.
Good deal. Same question, Copperhead. Why are you doing this still?
It started back years ago. I didn't know what I felt, I just knew I was feeling something weird. And I was at my neighbor's house, and that's when that full body walked down the hallway. And I thought it was his wife. And I said, "You said your wife wasn't here." And he said, "She's not." And I looked down, and she was about from the knees up, not touching the floor, in an 1800s gown and apron, mop cap. And then he tried to see her, and she disappeared. Then I was talking with his wife, and I'm the only man that ever saw her. So then it was like, why me? And then when my wife started working as a historical guide at the asylum, and I went on a tour with Miss Sue, and she's passed away now. She was a nurse that worked at the hospital and then became history and did a little bit of the paranormal. And she gave me my first tour. And yeah, it was like what you experienced in a way. I walked away from everybody. Everybody was sticking with the guide. Me, no. I'm down at the other end away from everybody.
You're like Brian.
And I got my hand.
Yeah.
I got a hand on my shoulder. And I'm like, okay, you want to walk with me or what? And I started up and it stayed. And I got to one spot and it went away. So I went back and it did it again. So I run up to Sue and I said, hey, you got one of those meter things with you? And she gave me her K2 and I went down there and it started going off. I felt the hand on my shoulder and I'm sitting here going like this. Wasn't scared, you know. And it just, from then on, rest is history. I mean, one of the guides quit and they asked if I could do it. And they gave me some little flashcards and I started that night.
Yeah.
And, but going to other locations, everything, I mean, I know they're there. And when you get the verification of EVP or a picture or whatever, it just, yeah, I mean, I'll always be in it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Once you have something happen, it's intoxicating. Even after all the years I've done it, it's still, when you have something happen, just totally intoxicating.
Yeah, that's why I'm being completely irresponsible and letting go of, you know, stuff that actually pays the bills for us to go out and explore these locations. Which is what me and Adra, for those who haven't watched any episodes yet, we do a series called Haunted and Urbex where we go out on location. Adra tells stories, I tell jokes, and then we see what happens, you know, see what we can find. And we did the Lock and Dam 19. We did 3 episodes on Parkersburg.
On Parkersburg. And there's more to do, really. Parkersburg is really interesting. West Virginia in general is crazy haunted.
Oh, yeah.
We did Lock and Dam, Riverview Cemetery, and
the
we
tunnel.
did Silver Run.
Yeah, Silver Run Tunnel.
A lot of number 19s that day.
Yeah. And we saw the Silver Run Tunnel. We definitely heard some things. We didn't see anything, but heard some questionable things. So I suggest y'all check out those episodes. I did one in Salem. Adra wasn't on that trip, but you know, and it's outside Appalachia, but you know, it's Salem. So you gotta film while you're there.
Yeah, of course.
Have you guys been to Eaton Tunnel?
I haven't.
We haven't been
North
together.
Bend?
I've been. The whole of North Bend has a lot of really bizarre little sites. Yeah.
Eaton Tunnel, me and some guys went up there and oh crap.
Okay.
Where is this place?
He said, write it down.
Eaton Tunnel in North Bend.
Okay.
State Park.
So
And
what, 3 hours from here?
It's like Cairo. Is
Probably.
it in Cairo?
Yeah.
Probably.
Is that one in Cairo or Salem? I always get them mixed up.
It's on past.
Oh, yeah.
It's on past Salem. But we went out there. I've only been there one time.
Same, yeah.
And when we went, the guys and I went in and we were getting footsteps on past us and everything. And I was doing a session. I was using my dowsing rods and I was talking with a girl. It was a female. And all of a sudden I looked at the guys and it's like energy just changed. They're like, what?
Shifted.
I said, the energy's wrong. I said, it's not her. It's somebody else. And one of the guys that was with us had his audio recorder running. And when I said, it's wrong, it's not the girl, you hear a male voice, get back in your grave.
Oh.
And then it started amping up.
I like
it
it.
amps up after that.
And we had something that kept coming towards us and then it could go away.
Sounds like a challenge.
Me, first to die in a horror movie. I headed that direction and the guys are like, man, get back up here. I'm like, no, I want to see what this is. And the footsteps were going away. And I'm like, okay. So I turned around, we come back. And we were coming back, and there were 2 red eyes on coming up behind us.
Oh.
And I turned and looked, and I looked at the guys, and I've got this big flashlight, and I thought, I'll see what it is. And I kicked on my light. There's absolutely nothing there.
Huh.
Shut the light back off. There's those 2 red eyes again. And the guys are wanting out. And I'm walking in the back.
Uh-huh.
And I turned around a couple of times and said, you can just go on. And we're going out. And I turned and started walking as fast as I could towards it. I thought, let's do this. And the guys are yelling at me.
You'll think that until you get, possessed.
Till it shows up like, hey, you were looking for me?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I mean,
I kind of did the same thing.
I get it, yeah.
I always tell my groups, have you ever seen the Facebook quiz, which person would you be to die in a horror movie? Well, I took it just to see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make it to opening credits.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'll be out of there so fast.
Adra will be who they call. They're like, bring in the exorcist.
I'll help you from outside.
Yeah. So Eaton Tunnel is Wood County, West Virginia.
Right. Same as Parkersburg, but it's a bit out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So near the town of Eaton.
Okay.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's go ahead and play a little bit of this episode. And if you're listening to this, we're going to listen to it, have fun with it. But I highly suggest you check out the full episode. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it, but it's a whole different experience seeing this place. So definitely check it out. But I'll play the intro here and then we will reassess. Tonight, we're in Weston of West by God, Virginia. Me and Adra are here at
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, also known as Weston State Hospital.
Heck yeah, and it closed in
1994.
I knew
That's
that.
the one.
The stabbing bathroom, and then the words of Copperhead. It's gonna get rough.
Come closer. How do you feel?
Dude, I just got the biggest I got it right now.
Satanic.
Adra, as always, is the resident medium and professional, and I'm going to tell a few jokes and try not to disrespect every ghost in the house.
Which is a lot.
Is a
Did we
lot.
succeed?
I can see the headlines now. He was a funny guy.
Is this good?
All right, rabies. Do I wave my arms? Those daggone bats.
Son
I
of a
can't with the dog.
Yeah, there's going to be a few, but
Mortal
we're going to have a
enemy.
good time. What better October special? What better place to go than an overnight at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum? Stay tuned and subscribe. All right, so that sets the tone. Basically, you can reserve Trans-Allegheny for an overnight tour, which consists of, there's different buildings, right?
Mhm.
There are, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you can do the main building, and then there's 3 buildings in the back. The CI building, which is criminally insane, then the geriatric, and the medical. Those 3. And those are the 3 I'm in for all of October.
yeah. And you can never go in the clock tower. You ever been in
No.
the clock tower to maintenance?
He's not going to say.
Possibly, yeah. Or I mean,
Maintenance.
staff
Well,
should be
I
allowed.
actually have been allowed in there one time.
Okay.
I had to take a light up and put a light up on the roof. So I have been allowed in there once.
Gotcha.
On record. Side eye.
I've been allowed in there once.
Yeah. So
One
we
more
are
time.
so we arrive on site, and I won't, play this without context, but what's your process, Adra, for these things? What do you try to bring and remember to bring, or do you have a process at all?
It depends on the location. I've noticed as I've gotten older, especially, they don't even wait. If I'm connecting with a spirit, a lot of time it will happen as I'm going to the location. Sometimes I'll be over an hour away. But I'll usually bring like a wide range of devices. But by the time I get there, I generally know what I'm looking for. Trans-Allegheny is its own entity in general for me because of the level of experiences I've had there compared to short times being there. I had a weird feeling coming up. My main focus was please let the rest of the team have a serious experience tonight, because I knew that's what we were really looking for. So I was just hoping that would come through. The Trans-Allegheny has always sort of been like an enigma on its own.
Yeah. And you even bring outfits because you I don't, do you call it cosplaying at work? At
I
the
do
Blender
like to cosplay. I
Okay.
won't Star Wars shout out, but
Gotcha.
and of course, I'm a historical guide at
Mhm.
the state park. Have to dress up like a 1700 servant for that. Good fun. But for locations like this, yes, I did have a separate outfit. Sometimes if the activity is getting a little bit stagnant, think of it like a trigger object. So like when you bring out a certain object to sort of get the ghost going, like we did with balloons, like you'll see it later on in the episode, just to have somebody dressed like somebody from that time period. In this case, it would be maybe an 1860s nurse
Mhm.
going down and where the barracks were, something like that can get it going sometimes.
Heck yeah. And it definitely did get going.
It did.
Copperhead, how many of these have you been on?
Oh, I couldn't even start to tell you.
Hundreds?
At the
Triple digits?
Easy.
Easy.
Nice. And you don't get activity every time. Majority of
The groups don't. Most of the guides will get something
Mhm.
because they know us. And if you're by yourself, they're going to mess with you.
Mhm.
And that's what I try to tell people. And I said, when you're not getting activity, check your audio because they're probably talking to you,
Yeah.
and I've had people that they said, oh, we didn't have anything all night. And they go home, check their audio, and they'll send me all kinds of EVPs that they've got from different places
Mhm.
and in the building. It's hard to say, but it doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's never really disappointed. You'll have something.
Do you have like call it a set list? Like, okay, we're going to start down here because we started off. We went to lobotomies, right?
Mhm.
Went to the lobotomy
Lobotomy
section.
recovery.
Lobotomy recovery. Yep.
Yeah. Is that usually what you do with these, or does it vary?
We'll give a walkthrough of that area because it's easy to get turned around, but it's just a big circle, and then we're D because you got to figure out where you're headed. But on the privates, yeah, we give everybody that tour down there.
Mhm.
Some people don't want a tour of the whole place, and some do. And it takes a little bit to cover everything.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
I try to do a complete walking and talking the whole time and not stop. And it'll take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to walk it and point out all the hot spots.
Yeah. Let's talk about lobotomies. For those who may not know what those are, what did they used to do at this place? There was one doctor that did over 100 in a day. It's like
He did 100 in one day.
breaking records.
And that's
And skull.
Dr. Walter Freeman. And it's funny when I talk about him down in lobotomy recovery, it just started happening a little bit back. And I found out that it happens to all the historical guides. When you talk about it, you'll start getting choked up and you got to drink water. And that happened to me. Well, it happened to me all 3 times yesterday because I talk about it
Wow.
down there. So I'm thinking about talking about it upstairs and then go down in, and then I won't have that problem.
Hmm.
But they took it looked like an ice pick and a hammer, and they put it through the corner of your eye towards your frontal lobe, and then they hit it and then disconnected the frontal lobe on both sides. Is what they did.
Which is supposed to
And-
end your mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it made the perfect patient. I mean, if they survived, because he didn't believe in germs, so he would just wipe it off and go to the next person.
I wonder if anyone got AIDS from that. I don't know if AIDS was around then.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. It's just so, someone had to contract some type of disease from
Yeah,
that.
something.
Well,
Where's,
then you could get staph infection
yes.
too, because he didn't sterilize nothing.
You get two
I mean,
forms of
just
staph infection,
wiped it over,
FF and pH. But
He didn't
anyway.
even breathe on it and wipe it down. Just
Just wiped it and went to the next person,
Yeah.
Didn't even spit on it to clean it off.
Fog it off like the glass or anything.
If you're not first, you're last. I mean,
Yep.
let's go. If you're gonna do it right. But no, so obviously there's a lot of trauma within these walls. And they would do things like they would put autistic patients in the violent ward.
Mhm.
And a lot of things that we didn't know, but also, I mean, you had to know some of these things back then. I don't, I don't like to
Well,
make
then
excuses.
Some of it, they didn't have a name really for it yet.
Sure.
In the early years, I mean, mental health has come a long way. The working on, the issues and stuff more than when they started. It was all, and everybody thinks they did experimental procedures. Everything they did in there was state of the art at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at that time, they were, I would say, experimental,
That's good to know, because when you have those old haunted abandoned asylums, the go-to thing is that there were experimental, evil experiments.
Mhm.
So it's good to clarify that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we start off in the lobotomy section, and, we're not really, it's still daylight.
Mhm.
We're walking around, hearing different stories. You told us a story about how you all you had like a circle of chairs.
Mhm. That was upstairs.
Yeah. Okay. So what?
That was in unclean.
Gotcha. Okay. So what was the second floor? Was there anything else on the lobotomy floor, or was that pretty much all that went down?
Pretty much it. And then upstairs and unclean, unkept, that was, they did hydrotherapy up there.
Mhm.
Some other procedures. I can't think of everything right now. But where the circle of chairs was, they were moving stuff out, and they folded the chairs up, put them against the wall, and then took some stuff down to pack up to get out of there. And they heard noises, went back upstairs, and the chairs were back out in a circle, and they thought somebody was messing with them. So they went looking around for them, and nobody was there. And they folded them up, and it did it again.
Right.
And so now we've left a circle of chairs up there because that's what they wanted. So we leave them up there for them.
Which makes sense. I'm trying to find that on the, here they are. Okay.
Yep.
So
Need their powwow area.
yeah, which is really,
It was a therapy circle.
and they
I
put,
get it.
there's a bunch of offerings in the center.
Well, there's
Yes.
more now.
More now. Yeah. We got some cigarettes, a couple
Look familiar?
couple singles in there. Yeah.
It's like the Weeping Woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then there was a bunch of cards there when we went and visited.
Yeah, playing cards.
Yeah, that was on the river.
Riverview Cemetery.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. But so yeah, we're walking around having a good time. And then eventually we go back, we take a little break, and when it gets darker, we go up as far as the episode, which we've done a bunch of other things that we're not going to show that didn't make the episode.
Well,
But
that's
we
a
went to
good one
the
hop on.
is it called the Bedpost Murder Room?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we went, which is on, is that 3?
Third floor, Ward F.
Yeah, gotcha. So let's and we've told this story on here before, but let's break this story down so people will know why we stopped at this room to see what we could find.
There was a patient that he was deaf and didn't communicate and then when he tried to communicate, he'd get mad and hit stuff because he'd get frustrated. That's why he ended up in the violent men's ward.
Mhm.
And he shouldn't have been. And the one patient up the hallway didn't like him and talked another patient into helping him. And they tied bed sheets around his neck, threw him over the fire sprinkler pipe, lifted him up, and let him down several times till they thought that they had strangled him. And they were taking the bed sheets off from around his neck, and he moved. So they picked up one of the beds and put the foot of the bed on his temple, jumped up and down on it until they drove it through his skull and they killed him. Then they went up to the nurse's station and said, "You should see what the ghost tried to do in our room." So they were blaming it on the spirits in the 80s.
Oh, really? So, and this is documented, like this story of this not accidents, murder. But yeah, so I'll play a little clip here. So you got out the dowsing rods, and we catch a little bit of activity here, which is
I told you sorry that I had to say the story again.
I swear to God, it moved.
so you see it move barely there, and this is he caught it thankfully barely at the end. But do you typically get a lot of balloon movement? And we're talking, there's no wind in this place.
No.
It's very dry. No wind circulation anywhere.
He moves the balloons for me all the time. When I come in to start the tour, I'll tell him I'll bring the music box back, but you need to move the balloon really good for me. And if you remember, it moved a little bit, and the cameraman, he's like, "That was a breeze." And I said, "Show him that you're here." And the balloon did this number.
Right.
Do you think he might like that music box because where he was deaf, the vibrations from the music box,
It's
he can sort of
possible.
feel it?
It's possible.
But I don't know what those ailments look like in the afterlife. But in this section, one thing I noticed that when you're watching, you might want to look out for is you could see the activity moving, like as you were doing the dowsing rod session and talking to him. The balloon would be going, and then it would move and go to the dowsing rods, and the dowsing rods would start moving, and the music box would start moving, and then it would stop, and then it would go back. And that is something good to look for when you're ghost hunting. A good example is in the Blunner House at Hotel. There's a room that is very haunted, 409, and it's a bi-level suite. So when I bring ghost tour groups in there, when I used to bring ghost tour groups in there, I'd split the group up and have one group with one device downstairs and one group with one device upstairs in the same room, and you could actually hear it switch when the spirit was moving upstairs or downstairs. So I noticed that during that experiment that he seemed to be moving, and you could actually track that.
There is a sequential thing, like when I've had the ghost pass through my body.
No big deal. No big deal.
I mean, there's nothing to see here, folks. I mean, literally, it was just all feelings. But I heard it come down the hallway, just one thing after another. And then eventually it hit me, and then it was just
The rest is history.
overwhelming. Yeah, which we caught. And then you got out this cool little contraption here called a thingamabobber level. I don't know what this is called.
The
Pendulum?
Pendulum.
Yeah.
Yes, with the pendulum board, not to be confused with the Ouija board. Yes, the pendulum is another old school type of divination, sort of like the dowsing rods. So the way that it generally works, and if you're a bit shaky handed, it doesn't bother it too much. You'll be able to tell. But generally, if you hold it just straight up, the general way of it is if it goes clockwise, it's a yes. Counterclockwise, it's a no. You can use it, say, where are you standing in the room? And the pendulum might go that way. With that board, it's a little easier. It's got letters, numbers, yes, no, sort of easier for them to communicate, easier for us to receive.
Yeah. If you got the jitters, this probably isn't the tool for you.
No.
Because
Sometimes,
Dowsing rods aren't either.
yeah, because
Right.
you can feel it. The whole point is that it's not manipulated by any electrical frequencies. You can't say, oh, it was the plug, oh, it was your phone. The point is that they come up and physically touch it at the same time you're touching it. So you might feel a ghost hand or something.
Sure.
If you're jittery, not the tool. Perfectly said.
Fun stuff. So we did that. I think we got a little activity. One, I think it said the number 7. I can't remember if there's 7 people in the room. But nothing really stood out huge, but it was still interesting to see, because I've never seen, this
Right.
happen in person. I was like, are we about to conjure the devil right now? What are we getting out here, Adra? Which,
First
that'd have been fine. I mean, it doesn't mean I like him.
Maybe next time, JD.
Yeah, maybe next time. But yeah, so that was a good time. And we turned the light on So we had the light off. At first, we did the spirit box with Megan and Lindsay, which is basically where you wear noise canceling headphones and then listen to the spirit box and you repeat words that you hear while another person asks questions in the room. And we got a few things with that, but I don't want to spoil any of it. But our main activity came later, but we did have, it would say help me and different things like that. And I hate to say it. Is that offensive? I mean, him. We think we know which spirit it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You think you know. Very few ways to be sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be too.
With me being in there so much, I can feel the energy on the rods.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell, like John and Charlie, the stabbing bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And then I was in there the other night on a tour, and it wasn't either one of them two.
Yeah.
I could tell exactly it was not right. And I'm like, yep, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who it is. I'm not going to sit in there and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
At that point.
Sure. Let's watch a little bit of the spirit box just to give people an idea of the process.
If there is anyone in here with us, my name is Lindsay and my friend Megan here has on headphones and a spirit box that scans words that you
So that's Lindsay. She's describing the process. Audio wasn't.
Missing.
Okay.
They have him.
Who do they have? Are we speaking with Dean or with someone else? Is there still someone in here with us?
This is a pendulum. So
that's really all
I've
we
also-
got. Just said they have him, which can be interpreted however you want. But and then Adra got the pendulum
You
out.
can also use a pendulum just on its own, which is a spiritual sort of device. Sort of works the same as a dowsing rod, but essentially the general rule of thumb is if it's clockwise, it's a yes, counterclockwise, it's a no. With my board, it's a little easier. So we have the alphabet, numbers, options for rephrase, yes, maybe, and no. Dean or any other spirits that are in here, if you want to communicate with us, you can go up to any of these devices with the red light and just touch them or walk past them and we'll know that you're here. That being said, does any of that make sense to you? Dean, if you're here, could you please communicate what color balloon you prefer? You could also move one of the balloons that we have here on the ground. I see that the red and the blue are a little more deflated. Do you prefer those colors? Will you start it again if you prefer red? How about blue? Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Dean. We're gonna go ahead and get you that. And get a brand new blue balloon. He seems to be...
And the only blue one popped.
Yep, the balloon popped and then help right after that.
What do you need help with? I do have another balloon. It looks like there's a light blue there. Is that
I
green?
got to buy more.
I know.
I think
The
you got a
help
little
right after the
overexcited.
balloon popped.
Good times. So, and that's odd.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
You have to keep in mind the ghost hunting is not like set to start at 7 p.m. like a movie. You've got to just see what the day is holding.
Yeah, and we were there for 8 hours.
I believe,
was
yeah.
the total, yeah. I think we left a little earlier, but so yeah, we got a little success in there, and then we went into Big Jim's room.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? So who is Big Jim again? What is that story?
Well, Jim is one that Paul and I found years ago. And now this was kind of wild. I just got Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a lady on my tour one time and I watched her. She walked into the room. I hadn't even talked about him yet. And she walked into the room and she was gone for a few minutes and I'm telling stories. And she come back out and she looked at me and she says, Copperhead? I said, yeah. She said, he told me to tell you his name is Big Jim. So that's what we started calling him. And I've had him. It just felt like somebody had their thumbs on my temples and just pushing in and you'd get headaches get sick, have to leave out of there. Paul, same thing with him. And we were in there one time. He's kind of mellowed out now, but we were in there and my dowsing rods actually crossed and touched together, and it felt like somebody had a hold of them and they were lifting them up. And when they got up so high, I said, that's enough. And I pulled them apart. And I told Paul, I said, I'm done. Went out in the hallway and dowsing rods were still straight. And I'm the only one holding them. And I was holding them about halfway down the rod.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting out there leaned against the wall because it drained me. And he says, you think you got another one in you? I said, I think so. So we headed down to Dean's room. And when we got down there, I went to get a hold of the rods and they were bent in a horseshoe.
Wow.
They were in my hand. I didn't feel them get bent. I didn't bend them.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Paul and he's looking at me and I'm like, how did this happen? Because he saw them. I was like that and they were straight. And then got down there and they were bent in a horseshoe shape. The
Nice.
end of the rod was almost touching the handles where they come down.
Wow.
And how did that happen?
Sure.
You know, I was walking and they're in my hand. I didn't feel it. So that one still floors me.
Did I come across, it seemed like I came across a photo of Big Jim. Is there one out there or is it a fake one?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was looking online and I was like, oh, look at that. But someone may have just, made some kind of photo and told some story with it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta be weary of what you find sometimes. But
Age of AI.
yeah. So, all right. So we did a little dowsing rod action in there with Big Jim. And then we played
That was
on the
down-
recording of the stabbing
Bathroom.
bathroom.
So inviting.
Yeah, what's the backstory? I'll play this little clip here in a second, but what's the backstory on the stabbing bathroom?
That's the second floor. No. This was the bathroom on third floor, wasn't it?
It may be. Is it not the stabbing bathroom?
No.
I think
okay.
we went through that. We went through
there.
one bathroom and then we went into the stabbing bathroom, I think.
I went into that shower area by myself
Mhm.
with the dowsing rods, set my audio recorder down, and because I figured it was the guy that was in the bathroom that was messing with. I kept seeing it out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there and I basically demanded that we were going to use the dowsing rods to communicate. And my audio, I didn't send that to you. I forgot. My audio when I finished talking said "F yourself,"
Oh, nice.
and I'm like, "What?"
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't hear
listened to
that. We heard
I
there's
listened
like a
to it.
grunt.
I listened to it and I'm like, "Oh, really?" So I went back in for
Yeah.
a minute,
Oh, really?
and then I didn't really get anything, and that's when you guys went in and did your session.
I remember that because there
And
was a
then
spirit running around
I
outside.
set my music box back in the corner on a shelf, and then I moved around to the other side because I didn't think you guys saw it, and I know who was the tall girl, brunette,
Lindsay?
Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
She was standing in front of me, and I tapped her on the shoulder and pointed, and there was a shadow figure that came out from behind the wall on the other side. And she saw it. So I walked around to get in between it and Adra, and I'm standing there like this the whole time. And it was not pleasant.
No.
And then we all went down to the stabbing bathroom,
Gotcha.
Yes.
and I forgot the music box.
I remember.
Yeah,
that.
and you had to go back. Yeah.
And
I
I had to
remember
go
that.
back up and get it. And as soon as I walked into word F, I just felt it like right in my face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm up here to get my stuff and I'm going to go. And I walked down, I went to turn in to go to that bathroom, and oh man, it felt wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you might as well back up because I'm getting my stuff and I'm going. And I just walked on in, got my music box, turned around, walked out, and it felt like I was followed all the way to the transition hallway. And as soon as I turned the corner for the transition hallway, it stopped.
Huh.
Right.
He just wanted to make sure I was leaving.
I need to play. So that music box. So if you want the perfect thing to creep you out in a,
Beautiful.
I don't know how many 80,000 square foot build. I don't even know how big it is, but so I'll play a little bit of that we played in Dean's room.
Happy. Oh, I remember that. It's so wholesome. Looks like it's drawing you in.
So the music box will sit there and they can touch electrodes and make it play.
They just have to get close.
Gotcha.
It's got a microwave sensor in it instead of a regular motion sensor.
Mm-hmm.
It's experimental, and so far it has worked awesome.
Tons of fun.
There's a guy, the name is escaping me, but a lot of my friends have custom ones of these, and you can make them as creepy as you want.
Really?
Last of Us video game theme song, Silent Hill. If you're really feeling a certain way, you could do the song from Insidious.
The guide.
That's fun.
The guide from
My daughter just
Asylum.
watched that without me, and I was like, good for you.
Zach Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that built that.
Oh, okay.
And he's built one for me. He built one for Brandy that it's the Ghostbusters car,
Oh, cute.
Mm-hmm.
and it plays the Ghostbuster theme.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made a Harry Potter one for
Yeah.
Jess. And I forget what else, but yeah.
You can
And
select your skin for the music.
yeah, and he's got different well, he made the boxes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, mine is an actual music box that was taken apart.
Right.
And then he put a motor in there to turn it and
Come back together.
I've had that I've used it on investigations since the weekend before Father's Day. I've still not charged that thing. You're supposed to plug it in and charge it. The battery in there is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I showed him last weekend. I'm like, look at this, man. And he's like, you are kidding me. I said, nope, I've not charged it yet. And it's still full charge.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, spirits. Saving the ozone.
You put one of those in my phone?
Yeah. So this is right while we're walking to the stabbing bathroom. I'll play a little clip here.
Copperhead, it's gonna get rough, and Seth is going to his pants. Let's go.
And he did.
No, that's the,
Was it you?
That was a motorcycle. I gotta shut up.
that's the one on F.
Is the bathroom, the showers, Ward F.
Yeah.
Creepy breath.
So there's a little breath there. Yeah.
Let's go.
This is
But-
the way you can talk to us? Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Now that's the stabbing bathroom.
That was a good start. Can you tell us which stall that the gentleman got murdered in? Okay, I'm gonna put this feeling over there. So I'm gonna leave it over here. Yeah, I know, you guys are probably so thrilled. I'm putting this right behind you. And that leave me alone was pretty brutal out the gate.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of Estes, we just run the spirit box?
Sure.
Immediately.
Hi. Hi.
Come talk to us. Rick? Okay, hi Rick. Were you involved in the stabbing that happened in this room?
Sounds like the same voice, too.
It does, yeah. Did you know the guy that was murdered? That was wild. You knew of him, so you heard what happened. Do you not know that you're dead?
You said you were next.
I remember that.
Good.
I just got a banter match with a sorcerer ghost, apparently. Came out real strong and said, leave me alone immediately. Then we had a guy named Rick come through and pretty much go back and forth with us for, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So
we have to assume that the stabbing bathroom is also the source for our bathroom.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Guys, we have to tell you about this experience we just had at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. It
He
was
played
pure insanity.
Seth put
So,
Flight of the
we were going up
Valkyrie
to the
or
fourth floor,
on
where
behind it.
notoriously there's a
He's got a
spirit
lot of
who
nerve
will
putting that
engage in
behind it after he
poker
took off like he did.
I know, right?
We pulled the cigarettes, we pulled the chips out. We start engaging with this ghost. And me,
Holy. Holy. All right, we're good.
Watch me come undone.
glasses on, I don't want to see.
All right, rabies. Do I wave my arms? What the? Jesus Lord.
I was out of there. Bye.
I gotta talk about this experience, Bats. Chill.
On the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is crazy. So for those just listening to the audio, bats just start bombarding us in the hallway.
Again.
I mean, I guess that's a regular thing. I mean, bats live here. That's really they're more their house than us.
The timing could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
And I love that I gaslit you before, because just before this, JD had been like, Are those bats? I was like, no, that's not bats. And he believed me.
Well, we at first when we was looking down the hallway, which I'll show. I
Your
wish
profile picture.
I need to bring up Brian's clips and see if he got that hallway better than I did. But to show you, so you'll see red here down the hallway. It's literally a red exit sign lighting up this hallway, and you just hear little things. But it was a combination of spirits and bats. We come to find out
They're working together against us.
Yeah, but when the story behind that room, is that Frank and Larry's room? Okay, what's the deal with the poker? Like, how do we know what went on in this place?
Well, somebody asked one of the groups, or somebody asked if they like to play cards, and that's how the cards ended up there.
Gotcha. That's simple.
And then usually I put out a ace, king, queen, and a jack, shuffle them, set them out, and I'll put my finger to each card. And then when they think that's the ace, they'll make a noise for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually a little metallic tink. And I've lost probably $20, $25 up there.
Right.
I'm not like the other guides. I'm cheap. And I know of some of them that have lost a lot more than that to them. But I'll play one or two hands, and that's it.
Sure.
You know? And I was actually up there yesterday, and there's somebody playing cards from out in the hallway. And I didn't know that until yesterday. And I didn't hear the metallic tink, but I heard two knocks from out in the hallway. And I didn't think nothing of it, and I didn't turn the cards over or anything. And I walked out. Well, I had a guy that was a non-believer. And his boy likes the paranormal. So they walked over. When I put my finger on the first card, that's when the knocks came. They turned the card over. It was an ace.
Mm.
And the dad was like,
You know the spirits know what they're doing in that room, though, because that's only my third time up in that room. And as soon as the game started, it was like clockwork. That they started responding. So they definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is where it went
the
down.
ace marked.
Oh yeah, yeah. I kept trying to. I was like, I'm going to guess this card, ace of spades. It wouldn't be like a seven of hearts or something. You know, I tried it like 3 or 4 times, didn't work. But so I'll play a little clip here, kind of set it up.
Game.
All right, since I got you here now, I'm going to get you a new hand here, and you let me know if you want to hit or stand, all right? You got a 10, that's a good start.
So that's Seth. He actually edited this episode. Shout out. But he's dealing cards in the middle of the room, and we have the cake thing. What's it called?
The REM pod.
The REM pod. Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it, though. It does look like a cake.
Yeah. The cake thing. Brian's over there by the door. He's got his camera rolling. and we're all just sitting in this room while Seth.
I was downstairs when you guys.
Yeah, I questioned. I'm like, "Where's Copperhead?"
This about took Seth out this whole experience. We almost had to find a new film guy after this.
It was a good time.
Killer's got a 7, and you've got 14.
Yes.
I said rituals.
It's bright.
Yeah. Do you want us to turn off one of the lights?
Brian started hearing noises of footsteps and random things, and then we heard a whistle.
Okay, I'm assuming he wants to stand. Yeah.
Right here. Really? That was right here next to me. Footsteps. Whistle.
We didn't catch the whistle too good, unfortunately, but it was there.
I said,
It
well, I
was.
have this little mic here. Let me go over here with Brian and see what we can hear. And it started feeling a little thick, but I was just like, we'll just see. I thought originally, I was like, Copperhead's down there.
Where's Copperhead?
Catching straight.
It's moving right out here.
We can hear a whistle.
Come closer. How do you feel?
Down the hallway, it was like in sequence. Hope was next to me in the hallway, and we start hearing in sequence noises come closer and closer down the hallway.
Right in front of you, JD.
Dude, I just got the biggest. I got it right now.
So if you barely hear, so for context, you hear Brian say it was right in front of you, JD, and right when he said that, it was just before that. I got this big rush of just euphoria, kind of.
Yeah.
And then the cat ball below me at my feet lit up. I was like, oh.
It's standing right there.
Yeah, standing right there. And then it just went away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that can't be a coincidence.
No, it wasn't. It was in tandem. And then I don't know. I didn't say this the night of, and I don't know what protocol is on this in that building, but we weren't getting anything major, not anything. It was exciting for me, but substantial in terms of this was a lot of the team's first time really looking for like a ghost encounter. I'd gone off on my own at one point, and Poker Room is always where I have the most stuff happen in Trans-Allegheny for me personally. And I went up there and I took a cigarette and a coin and I was like, can you please show yourself to these other people? So I'm not sure that had anything to do with it. Right. But I did go up and petition our case. So I'm,
It may have worked.
it might have worked in just showing you that, hey, we're definitely here.
Yeah. They'd be like, hey, that's Adra. She's one of us. I mean, let's do it.
Please, one time.
Yeah, that's great. I've been watching videos, and one thing I want us to implement is challenges.
Oh, I like that.
So you write my challenges.
Okay.
I write your challenges, and then we go off with a camera. So I watched the guys that came down with you all, the Watcher guys. Was it Shane and...
I love them, just FYI.
Yeah.
My favorite
What's their
people.
names? It's Shane and... Ryan, maybe? They came. Well, anyway, they sent each other off, and it may have been the other person there. What was her name? That was there. Who? Brandy. Shout out Brandy. I think Brandy was with them.
That's something a few of the shows do when they have a team like that. That's kind of what I had suggested if we'd gotten into the morgue, send one person off with a camera.
Right.
Because if you're solo, but that sounds like a good idea to me. I'm definitely in.
Well, they would go and then they would look and it would be like, okay, go and sit under this bed and say these words.
Right.
Different things like that. So
I would love that.
We need to do that. I think Moundsville's going to be the next one that we're going to do this winter. Yes. But we'll do something fun.
Away from home. I love that place.
Well, they was really easy to reach out to. So we'll probably, and there's no heat in there, I'm sure, but
nope.
That's what hot hands are
Break
for.
room. Break room's the only
Green
place
room.
they've got
And Moundsville's interesting. The high school in Parkersburg was designed by the same architect, and they say Parkersburg High School is also super haunted, but they look very similar. I've stayed the night in Moundsville a few times, and we'll find some stuff, I think, definitely with your humor.
Yeah, we'll do it. It'll be a good time. Well, I think that's going to be the next spot.
Oh, awesome.
Because I want to film more, but I'm freeing up my schedule and everybody's so busy, and especially during Halloween now. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So anyway, we saw the devil. It went through my body and it
And
probably
seen.
wasn't the devil though. It was really nice. It was a really nice ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know the names of
Just
them,
wanted to
but
say hi.
yeah, it's like,
That's all
hey.
right.
It could have been one of several up there.
Yeah. I was trying to process afterwards, and that's when the bats came out. I'm really sad that we didn't
Yeah.
get our impromptu game of leapfrog.
Oh no, we do. All right, here.
No, man.
So after that, we all started walking down the hallway, and that's when the bats started.
That's when the bats just went on the attack. It was over. That was the same thing that happened all night, and we're actually still being targeted.
The CIA. We're still being targeted.
Holy Was that a bat? Man, that chill was.
Unless it's literally Mothman, no bats hanging out.
Here, Gaslighting Central.
It's that satanic in there.
Yeah, but I didn't hear
No.
It's just a bat.
Said no.
I told him, I was like, it's just an app. It's like, oh, it's just an app. Okay.
Well, they won.
There's a damn. Oh, it just. Did it bite you?
And oh,
There's the bat. I got that one on camera.
we're out of here.
Dude.
Entirely uncool.
Explain to me how 3 people get the same chill at the same time.
That was not a bat.
That's not a bat.
I feel the way Megan and Lindsay look right now.
I have no words.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Could y'all feel anything?
I mean, I felt all kinds of things this whole night.
And the reason being is because I felt when hope tensed up.
Right.
And we didn't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on.
Yep.
I don't know. That was like, whoa, okay. That was like over the line of like, I don't know if I'm a skeptic here.
Seth, you did great.
Yeah.
Way to go, Seth.
Get the hell out.
Seth was ready to move on.
And now we do leapfrog here. It's like,
Oh, boy.
The way we came.
I about did a hurdle over Adra.
Yeah. I
Thing
just
is
survival
huge.
instincts on
Game-
point. I just dropped to the ground, and here comes JD.
yeah.
Stop, drop, and roll.
And that's part of the fun too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's fun to almost die. Apparently,
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have.
that
I don't think. I didn't feel what you said. There are spirits that are on, the more hateful side
Mhm.
for sure.
There's a
I
few
haven't
up there.
experienced that yet.
I have the uncanny knack of finding the ones that don't want to be found.
Right.
Mm.
And when another friend of mine was there, he would get guilt by association. He'd get pinched or scratched or something, and I wouldn't. And then he'd leave, and then I'd get it.
Mm. Sure.
It's like they picked on him first, always.
Yeah, that's to be determined for me. I haven't had one like that yet. I've just had the Casper the Friendly Ghost people.
On the not nice spirits in Trans-Allegheny, I do just want to say, because I know that you'd said no, and that might very well be the case, but I'm really, really adamant that I was picking up, maybe he's not permanently there, but picking up on somebody that had something to do with Dean's murder, one of the two. I really at least felt that energy there that night. It was intense. So I know that you'd said he'd not passed on too long,
Mhm.
or not too crazy long, but I swear that might be something for a follow-up. I swear it was just one. It was not two, but I swear I felt him. That might be something to look into for the future.
Well, I've never ran into anything pointing that direction
Yeah.
myself in there.
He might be scared of you.
Possibility.
But and you never know. It's one of the things when you're more sensitive and you're on the medium side, that just when something comes up, even if it's not explainable, you gotta get it out there. And that energy, if it was residual, it was strong.
Yeah.
It was strong.
Yeah. And then we went to Lily's room, didn't get much activity. But recap the story of Lilly Copperhead.
We don't have documentation of Lilly. Everything that has been found has been by investigators and guides and everything like that.
Gotcha.
She supposedly is around 8 years old, and she was born there and died there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell of Lilly. And I used to have really good sessions in there. And Sue was one of them that she was in there with me one time. She's got a big purple ball in there, and I'd set it out in the floor and I'd say, pick who you want to play with. And the ball would go to somebody. And most of the time they would freak out and head out the door.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got the ones that would stay. And, but yeah, we'd have hour sessions in there, easy. And there was a music box in there at one time that you had to wind it up. We never wound it.
Sure.
And one night, my wife was doing a walkthrough with a guy was wanting to do a movie or something there, and she was walking through with him. And then Zach McCormick was there, and I was there, and we were in Lily's room. And I said, I'd really love to hear that music box tonight. Nothing. So we turned and walked out. We're about maybe a doorway to the next doorway, and the music box started playing. We didn't wind it. And my wife turned around. She said, you guys wind that box? We're like, we didn't touch it, And she knows if I say I didn't touch it, I didn't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
But it started playing.
Mm.
And it'd do that. I mean, you'd be going down the ward and hear the music box start playing, and
Sure.
nobody'd been in there yet.
Yeah.
There were kids born there, and some even patients, I'd heard. Like maybe not young children.
There were child patients, yes. And then there was a nursery in there also. And it was down, I think they said it was up and unclean. And we've got EVPs of babies crying.
Yeah.
And there was another EVP of a woman saying, where's my baby?
Mm-hmm.
And we got that in a different room on that same area. But patients would get together.
Of course, yeah.
And,
Do you think that maybe Lily's room is an avenue for other child spirits to come through sometimes? Or do you think that's just the one little girl?
I think it's just the one.
Yeah. She was very quiet that night. It
Mhm.
Might have scared the bats. Might have scared her off. Honestly, I don't think we had anything to do
we
with
had
it.
enough for one night.
We were spent after that. Yeah.
She hasn't talked to me 2 years before I left.
Huh.
Got mad at
Okay.
me, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not talked to her since.
Mm.
And I was in there with a group telling the stories. And I said, yeah, Lily doesn't care for me anymore. And these two ladies had K2 meters. Both of them went to red and stayed at red until I walked out. And when I walked out, they went off, and they said, they went off. I said, well, watch this. And I turned around, walked back in, they went back to red. And
Yeah.
then I walked back out, and they went off. And then I didn't go back in the room. I don't go in there other than to tell the stories and walk on.
Us
If somebody's
girls know how
in
to
there
hold a
having,
grudge.
if somebody's in there having a good session, and I walk up and even look in the door, stops.
Yeah.
And it will not restart. So I just walk past.
Oh man, no second chances with Lily.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, and then that kind of wrapped up the night,
Mhm.
and we put to bed. The place is definitely haunted, so it's a thing. Definitely suggest checking it out. I'm throwing this on you, and I didn't even want to give you a heads up because it's so off the cuff that we're going to end this with.
Okay.
Must visit places in Appalachia this Halloween. And I think we should do this of two different ways, like free or paid. We can mention that, but there's so many places you can go just for gas that it takes to get there that people may not know about. But ending on Trans-Allegheny, they have a graveyard Can you visit the graveyard?
Mm-mm.
You cannot
There's
visit the
three-
grave. Gotcha.
There's 3 out back.
And there's a story about the Philippine mummies that
Mhm.
trace to
Yes.
Trans-Allegheny.
They were purchased, I believe. They
Yeah.
were female cadavers from Trans-Allegheny that were purchased by a scientist who was really into ancient Egypt, which I can relate to. And yeah, apparently he wouldn't tell anyone his formula, but apparently it worked. The Smithsonian approached him to buy those mummies, but the deal was he had to tell them how he did it, and he refused
Mhm.
adamantly. So now they're in Philippi.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
visit them today.
You can, Barber
Yeah.
County Historical Society.
So that's
isn't it?
one of them.
Yes.
Is that free?
I believe it's free. It might be donation basis, but call and make sure because it is a historical society. And I know firsthand those are usually run by a small crew.
I
and
mean,
whatnot.
donate people.
Yeah, of
Let's take
course.
care of these
Yeah.
organizations. Well, ending on Trans-Allegheny, they have a haunted house.
Mhm.
They got the historical tour and paranormal tour.
Yeah, daytime history tours, then daytime paranormal, then we're sold out till January.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I saw
completely
that.
booked through January.
The Asylum Ball.
Yeah, the Asylum Ball is the 18th, and that's everybody dresses up and comes to the asylum, and they have their big ball down in the Civil War section.
That's
That's where
fun.
that's at. Then we've got the flashlight tours and the haunted house. And then, like I said, I'm booked all the way through my next, I work day tours on the 4th. Then I've got the overnight that night. Then the next weekend, Friday, Saturday. Then the next weekend, I've got Friday. Then the next weekend, I got both nights again, back to backs.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Busy
it's just-
season.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well,
It's nonstop.
good job, buddy. Way to go.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to go first? Where can people go to get a little creepy? And maybe some areas that aren't heavily focused on that, like, there may be a handful of people there when you go. Could be nobody there when you go. Is there anywhere that comes to mind? Haunted trail, perhaps. I
There's
always like
so
going and
many.
walking through a random graveyard.
Yeah, no. Well,
But-
if you want to do that, the Athens Lunatic Asylum in Athens, Ohio. So the asylum is part of the Ohio University campus now, but I believe they do give tours, and it's real strange because there was a lady that went missing in there she's not found for 42 days. When they eventually found her body, of course, it was in a state of decomp, and that stain is still there. So they do ghost tours, but you can go through the cemetery, the patient cemetery. And a lot of the patients actually worked on the cemetery. So that's, maybe 30 minutes from Parkersburg. Point Pleasant, although heavily trafficked, or at least heavily well known. If you go during a weekday, that's somewhere I would definitely recommend because you can go into the Mothman Museum. And if you haven't, I would recommend doing that. But even just hiking out to the TNT areas or going around the town, it's one of those little places that has a weird energy to it. Like you get there and you're like, oh yeah, if Mothman was going to live somewhere in West Virginia, I could see this definitely being it.
Is the TNT area pretty accessible?
It is. So the old igloos and bunkers, and it's a very heavy swamp area as well. So dress like you're going outdoors for it. You can go into the igloos where he was initially seen and hike out there on your own. The old Ordnance Works. And there's various locations around Point Pleasant where he was sighted. And just in general, that place has such an amazing history, and it's right on 2 rivers, and definitely a very paranormal air in the city of Point Pleasant.
The reverberation inside the igloo is
Mhm.
insane. A buddy of mine sent me a video, and
It's something else.
yeah, it's nuts.
It is something else.
We did a whole 2.5 hours just on the Mothman lore, and he went out and took some video, and he stepped on a rock, and it sounded like the $6 Million Man was in there. I don't know if
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
that sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right, those are 2 good ones. Where do you think, Copperhead? Other than the obvious Trans-Allegheny, in February. Happy Valentine's
I
Day.
know. I know. Moundsville,
Mm-hmm.
but it's paid location. They do a haunted house up there also.
Mhm.
The Bigfoot Museum,
Mhm.
cryptids. If you're into cryptids,
In Sutton.
that's another place. Yeah.
It's a good one. You can, I mean, like underground stuff, like Cabin 13 at the
right.
Babcock State Park,
Yeah.
which is dark tourism for sure,
Yeah,
where a murder occurred.
a lot of the tunnels on North Bend, or at least a handful of them. I don't know a lot of them, but a handful of the tunnels on North Bend. Just look up North Bend haunted
Mhm.
tunnels, and there's a good bit of them. Blennerhassett Island, of course, which I do work there, but I work there because I'm passionate about the location. So it's haunted, and it is. There's the story of the Blennerhassets is pretty enticing, and I do believe their spirits are there. But the island itself is ancient, so dating prehistoric. It used to be 5 islands, and it's come into one. There's a lot of activity that goes on that island, so they don't do any specific ghost tours. You do have to take a boat over. They're only open until the last weekend of October, but you're welcome to bring ghost hunting equipment. There's an 1802 cabin on site as well. And we think there are thousands of prehistoric graves on that island. So lots of history and definitely activity as well.
Love it. Let's see. Obviously, there's a bunch of haunted houses. Fright
Yes.
Nights in Glade Springs Resort. You got Miller's Haunted Farm. Where else are we thinking? Thurmond. You're getting ready to go to Thurmond. That's always a fun
Thurmond.
place to hike.
Yeah, and you can feel the energy there too. That hotel that used to be there, I'm sure was pretty interesting. But yeah, the ghost coal mining town. There's also one by the New River Gorge. I think it's Nuttleberg.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the restored prep plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the ghost towns, old cemeteries and everything that have not been moved
Mm-hmm.
down there. So there's plenty of places to get out if you're into hiking or outdoors and looking for a story. There is no shortage.
The Weeping Woman is the cool that we
Yes.
mentioned earlier in Parkersburg.
Riverview Cemetery. Now that is a place that is really interesting because the haunted Parkersburg tours, we of course just do them in September and October. When I'm doing my tours, you hear stuff come out of the cemetery while you're doing it. And we've gotten a shadow figure on camera already. And I've only done one tour weekend. So there's a lot that goes on in there in terms of orbs and shadow figures. And Parkersburg in general is very, very haunted.
Heck
Broken
yeah.
record on that. But
No,
very
it's-
true.
It's a beautiful place too.
Yeah.
But beautifully scary as well.
Yes.
Um
Hauntingly gorgeous.
yeah. And you got the classics like Lake Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where else? Mercer County area. I'm not sure if there's any haunted hotels over there. I know the Lowe's the hotel in Point Pleasant.
They're not reopened. They're renovating at
Gotcha.
the minute. They're due to open, I believe, 2026, which we're very excited for. West Virginia is chock full of haunted hotels. If you're in Morgantown, the Hotel Morgan has a haunted room. Glen Ferris Inn is a great one. A lot of history there too. Of course, the Blennerhassett Hotel in Parkersburg still ranked top 10 most haunted hotels in North America as of 2025. Lots of options for that. And there's a lot of little inns and beds and breakfasts that are old houses with character.
The college or Williamson, the old hospital,
Old hospital on College Hill.
on College Hill.
That one
Yes.
is insane.
Have you went?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I-
had nonstop activity the whole time we were there. And if anybody goes over there, go eat at Miss Wanda's.
Miss Wanda. And
I
Justin,
told her I was going to plug that place. Oh my gosh.
Is it called Miss Wanda's?
Yep, it's called
Okay.
Miss Wanda's, and it's a little that. Oh, she's got one of the best burgers you've ever eaten.
Oh, you're making me
I
hungry.
mean,
Oh, here's one for you. Raleigh Playhouse is haunted.
The Playhouse is haunted?
Yep.
Why?
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in there. We had the West Virginia Paratourism Convention there. Scott Worley led Haunted Beckley. He's passed away now. But yes, we've done ghost hunts in there. So if you're feeling bored one day.
That's where the Mothman Prophets is screening.
Really? Well, there
December
you go.
15th.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna tickets will be for sale probably November 15th.
Oh, exciting. I can't wait. So you're having it in a haunted theater. That's perfect.
That's awesome.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
It
We
could
was
get
going
interesting.
on the anniversary of the Silver Bridge collapse,
Yes.
even though the movie has nothing to do with that, but even still,
Paying
if you say
homage.
Mothman, you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how cool. I didn't realize that. I love that little theater.
Well, it's a nice little theater. They do great events. We've had a handful of conventions there.
You did a lot of tours with Scott?
I did. He and I were very close. We worked very well together. He spent a lot of time at the Blenner House at Hotel with me. But he did the Haunted Beckley tour, and then he did 2 or 3 conventions in that location. One year it was right outside in that parking lot. But we did a couple of ghost hunts in there, and it was really interesting. One of the investigations, we're all sitting in the auditorium, and he's giving us a debrief for the night. Takes less time than Trans-Allegheny, but the idea is the same. And I started seeing, in my head, as you do with the ghost hunting, I started seeing this guy swinging from the light, and he was just acting like he wanted attention, this spirit. So Scott and I had a relationship where I'd just speak up and say, hey, that's going down over there. So I mentioned it, and as soon as I said it, the light started swinging on its own in front of everybody.
I like it.
So scorned actor, watch your showing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an active place. We stayed in there until about 3 o'clock in the morning every time we've investigated. It's never been quiet.
Well, we're doing a live podcast after the screening, so
oh,
if there's a time where something's going to happen,
right,
probably then would
would be it.
Yeah, that'd be
Keep
the time.
your mics on.
Yeah. How fun. How did Scott pass away?
Diabetes related competitions, actually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he
Unfortunate shout out.
yeah, it was really sudden. I believe it was some kind of like a coma or something like that. So he was in the hospital.
There was a ketoacidosis?
I believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was a little older, but he and I got along excellently. Very talented, amazing historian. I miss him very much. He did a episode of the Black Knight Country Club with Kindred Spirits, which is a ghost hunting show. So that's another spot in Beckley. I don't know what the access to that looks like.
Yeah. So there was a murder.
Yeah.
Betty Rand?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But
Yeah, it was a couple, I believe.
Yeah.
So he filmed that. He was extremely talented. What a loss. But he was the one that ran those events at Raleigh Playhouse, and it was never boring.
Yeah.
So you might find something.
Yeah. How cool.
Yeah.
Well, fun, y'all. All right. I do want to ask, and I think I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think we end this on, what is the scaredest you have ever been? Tell me that story. There's got to be one story where it's this is my go-to.
There is so much. I mean, the Trans-Allegheny story is a good one for my arm getting scratched like that.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Does it have to be in Appalachia?
No, don't have to be anywhere.
Okay.
It has to, wherever.
I've had a lot of stuff happen just in general, but I'll say staying at the Lizzie Borden house on my birthday a few years ago was one that always stands out. I'd love to go back there. It was just the one night, but I stayed on my birthday, which was also Lizzie Borden's birthday, right in the throes of COVID. So nobody was there except for 2 other people. And
let's flesh this out. So tell the Lizzie Borden story first.
Okay.
And then so we could set it up.
Lizzie Borden is where the song comes from, old nursery rhyme. I don't know how popular, but it's Lizzie Borden had an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. Her father and stepmother were found brutally murdered in their home in Fall River, Massachusetts, by axe. And the whole thing was that Lizzie did it. She went to trial for it. She did end up being acquitted. I do think that was gender biased to a certain degree, because they said there's no way that this woman could have done this.
Mm-hmm.
So she was eventually acquitted, and she went on to live her life and have a different house in Fall River. But there was a lot of controversy surrounding the whole thing because there is enough reason to believe that she might have been guilty. There were allegations of abuse in the household, as far as financial, physical, what have you. Yeah, just a lot of aspects to that story. But the murders took place in the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, which is now a B&B. You can go spend the night, even if you're not into ghosts. But if you're not, I would not recommend it. And I was staying in the room specifically where her stepmother was axed to death. And these murders took place in August. My birthday is July 19th. So it would have been just a few weeks after her birthday at the time. And we were in the house, and I'd heard of this happening before, so I don't know if that's residual. We're in the house, and at the time of her stepmother's death, there's a thud. Like, her stepmother was a heavier woman. You hear it happening. But what really, really got me was later on in the night, there's only 3 of us.
The basement has the weirdest energy by far, and there's a 100-year-old Ouija board down there you probably shouldn't touch. And this girl went down there and did it by herself, and she came up, and I've never seen someone so pale, not even when I actually see ghosts. And she went straight to bed. And so we were not long after, had weird stuff happening all night. But I kid you not, I woke up in the middle of the night, barely sleeping to start with, and I could just see this. The window was illuminating what looked like a blue outline of a woman, and I felt my hair getting stroked. Like somebody was just stroking my hair. And that to me, physical contact like that is, next level.
Wow. Why are Ouija boards the thing that people say, I'll never do that Ouija board?
I don't know. I'm not against the Ouija board. I will use them in the right setting. I think the fear surrounding them is more dangerous than the actual board, but then a lot of people don't know how to use them properly. Like you have to watch that with spiritual devices anyway, even the dowsing rods. You're opening an avenue for spirits to speak to you. And the Ouija board just seems to be a larger portal than most.
Is it because it was one of the first? I mean, the people who made Monopoly made it, right? Like, how can that be scary?
You got something to say? He's over here.
No, yeah. Well, I know, like in the Trans-Allegheny, you do not.
Said no Ouija board.
No Ouija board.
I used a Ouija board one time, and I swore I'd never touch another one, and I haven't. I've got one at my house that I'm supposed to take to a friend of mine when I go to St. Albans in April.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it to him. I had a lady give it to me and said, there's something wrong with this thing. And I'm like, well, don't give it to me.
Yeah.
And it's in my garage, put up where nobody can find it. And I will take it to Alan when the time comes. I'm not opening up the box.
Yeah.
I'm not touching nothing.
It's one of those things
And
you have
that's
to be
what's
diligent.
weird because dowsing rods are the same thing, but I know how to close those out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in control of that for the most part.
Yeah.
And I can feel the energy on a Ouija board. I can't feel energy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't feel, I have to have the copper. And I just, no, I won't touch one of them.
There's a big stigma around them, which I think adds to a lot of the danger. It's like, I think I said this on my podcast episode. If you're feeling super scared before you go into a ghost hunt, you probably shouldn't do it and open yourself up to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same thing with the Ouija board. Most people that use Ouija boards are going into it fearful, expectant of something, and, in a way, kind of being a beacon of light towards the thing that they maybe don't want to attract. Mm-hmm. As far as the Ouija board, though, with the stigma, with its use, it is a very open-ended spiritual tool. I will say I'd use them privately in the right surroundings with the right people. I would not use one that was like a community board at a known haunted location. I wouldn't touch the one in the boarding house with the 10-foot pole.
I mean, germs.
Well, that too.
COVID.
That too.
I
don't want COVID from a Ouija board.
What's
we were a bunch of 10, 11-year-old kids when we did it. And it's like, yep, nope, never again.
Done.
Well, the first thing the person who got possessed said. Whoops. You don't want to do that once. so anyway.
Where's the wood? Knock on wood.
Yeah. This fake wood.
Have to do 3 for all of us, please.
Yep. Is there a time that comes to mind, Copperhead, that sticks out the most? I know you told us about your first time.
I've got a couple. One was in the cafeteria. And Sarge was down there at the time. And I was standing there. And we were me and a couple of guys were talking. And they were the people that were running the groups back and forth because I was stationed in one foreign Civil War. And I had just had a guy. He told me he was a sensitive. So I said, go tell me about that corner. And he did. He told me everything I already knew. I'm like, okay. Well, we walked out. Miss Sue come in and had another lady. And that lady looked at her and said, what's up with that corner? Well, Sue didn't know. I hadn't told anybody about him yet. And the lady went over there and she told Sue, she said, you tell that guy with the long hair to stay out of here. He's going to kill him. And so Sue came and told me. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of stuck down here, Well, we were in the cafeteria and I had one guy here. and it felt like somebody took an air nozzle and hit the button and blew right in my face. And my hair went out, hit the two guys beside me. They turned and looked at me and I doubled over.
Oh.
I got punched. It felt like somebody punched me right in the stomach as hard as they could. And then it felt like electricity. I'm chalking that up more towards adrenaline than I would, maybe it did pass through me. I don't know, but I got punched. That was one. And then the second one was in the kitchen. Me and my son were in there. He had two separate groups and they didn't get along. But he told me, he said, can you go get them and bring them? Because he said, we're having awesome sessions. Went in there and it was all pretty much over with. And the groups were leaving. And I just got my new Tascam audio recorder and I'm listening with headphones. And so I'm listening live, trying to, see if I hear anything. And I go up to the back door where it leads back to the bathrooms. And I've got my audio recorder like this. And I said, well, I hope you said something in my little red light. This scream comes out of nowhere. And the shadow figure comes up out of the floor right in front of me. My son is right here looking in there too. You can hear the people running when they hear the scream. And the only way I can describe it is, you know how when a pig gets mad and it gets that squeal?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the scream was. And this thing's coming up right at the end of my hand. I said a few things and went backwards. And Andrew turned it into R-rated because he said, what the?
Yeah.
And then it was gone. But that one,
I'll do it.
That one got me. I mean, I can honestly say that one scared me. And then I told him, I said, pack up. He said, I am. And he's hurrying up, throwing his stuff in his carrying case. And I told him to walk out first. And then why, I don't know, maybe habit. I backed out. It might have been standing right here beside me laughing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one got me.
It's a good time.
Yeah, really fun.
And I go back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I hope everyone poops and pees their pants this October. I mean, it's an experience I wish upon everyone, even my biggest enemy, which I don't really have any.
The bats.
Yeah, the bats. Yeah. Wish it for them too. All right, y'all. What do you want to plug before we wrap this up? What are we thinking? Trans-Allegheny, Haunted Parkersburg.
Yes, Haunted Parkersburg tours. Susan Shepherd and Bloater House at Island would be the other one.
And Susan's daughter's still involved?
Yes, Scarlett. She lives in LA, but she still runs everything. She comes in town during the tour seasons. The tour is still very much like it was when Susan ran it. And Susan was a legitimate medium author, ghost hunter, real deal, real.
Heck yeah.
And we go through downtown historic district and some weird stuff happens for sure.
Love it. And Copper, are you on TikTok? You are, right?
Yeah.
Was it Copperhead?
Copperhead 638.
Heck yeah. The one.
And I've got several things posted.
Yeah. The one. And you post evidence every now and then. You post photos and all kinds of good stuff on there. Well, appreciate y'all doing this.
Of course.
I hope to do it again soon. And we'll get you outside of Trans-Allegheny Copperhead and go somewhere.
Good to me. Sounds good to me. My first time at Moundsville. I'd never been there before.
Yeah.
And it was with the show. I did the Paranormal Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never been there. We did the walkthrough. And Tom picked on me quite a bit. He's the historian up there. Oh, he cracked me up. But anyway, that night, I was in one of the cells. And something grabbed my arm. And that was a little intense.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I had a blast in there.
I'm really looking forward to Moundsville if we do that.
Moundsville's
think of the challenges. Awesome. We're doing this thing.
Go up to the psych ward.
Yeah.
And tell Mo Copperhead said hello.
I sure will. Will it throw me out the window or
no?
Shake my hand?
See.
We will see. Well, cool. Well, thank you all, everyone. Before you leave, please like this video, subscribe to Creepalachia if you haven't. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leave a review. It'll really help the show be found. And we are on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Happy freaking Halloween. Buy a hoodie, or not. But either way, always remember, above all else, long live Appalachia.